Hello, workplace innovators. If you're like me, you like working in spreadsheets. What you don't like is when spreadsheets break because of broken formulas. Maybe you only discover it after the presentation, or maybe even worse yet, someone else discovers it when they're tracing through your pro forma or your deck and they're trying to understand how did you arrive at that number, only to find that the number is not correct, it's not accurate. So let's go through a scenario. How can this happen, right? I mean, it should be so easy. I've got a grand total here. I've been a good citizen. I've consolidated everything down to one tab. And I've got a nice long running list. Well, turns out I did that, but then me or someone else, we started putting in new assessments for other people. And we started putting in these new scores. And we can tell now, oh my gosh, those rows were not included in this formula. So what to do about it? Well, one of the things we can do about it is Google and Excel, they'll give us an option to really look at a data table as a table rather than just cells. And that gives us some new options for our formulas in here. Now that it's a table, we can do some things like table one, and you can specify exactly what it is. If this is the total of the receiving or the assembly receiving, I believe it is. And great, so that gets us to that accurate number 26. That's awesome. One small caveat though is if we copy this table formula like we're used to copying some formulas left to right, all of a sudden again, we're not quite accurate. So just beware of your formulas. The fix inside of spreadsheet world is to use more often, try to use table formulas, array formulas, these things that are going to be a little bit more durable. I can't say that they are incredibly much more durable. They still can be prone to break. And so really before you ship that, as I know a lot of you already do, particularly if it's a summary of key financial data, you've really got to go through that process of auditing that information and tracing through your formulas. Click on the formula and see what it highlights. That alone gets you halfway there. If you'd like to step up into a system, I can give you a small example of what that would start to look like and feel like. Let's say we've got now a proper rapid application development environment where we're tracking our departments as things. And we've got our departments and our teammates, and those join together to create these assessments, as we showed you in the previous video. Now, it would be possible here to say, great, from this perspective of a given department, I want to be able to track unique assessments that are happening for that specific department. Let me show the teammate and the score and any comments that I'm going to have in kind of more of a traditional normalized data structure. On my teammates themselves, I can add a proper pick list and say, great, so for Linda, she's going to score receiving a 3 on such and such a date. For Bob, he scored it a 3. For Jenny, she scored it a 1. And that allows me to create a centralized, normalized data structure where I can create those similar types of calculations, but they're just going to be a lot more durable. From the department perspective, now I can say something like score total and create that as a calculation, which is, you'll recognize these formulas. They're very easy. It's simply a sum of scores. But again, it just becomes a lot more durable over the long run. And I can take this and show the grand total right here. There we have it. Thanks so much.